Have you ever looked at Chinese writing and just felt completely lost? You see this beautiful, complex script, but it feels like an impenetrable wall? Well, today, we're going to give you the key to unlock it. We're going to crack the code of Hanzi, the Chinese writing system.
Right, so a lot of people think of learning Chinese characters as trying to climb this massive, impossible wall, an absolutely monumental task. But here's the thing, that wall isn't nearly as high as it looks from a distance.
And okay, I get it. This is where that feeling comes from. You see a number like this, over 50,000 unique Chinese characters, and yeah, your brain just goes, nope, no way. It's totally understandable to feel overwhelmed, but stick with me, because that number is really misleading. Because here's the reality. To read a newspaper, to get around online, to just handle everyday life, you only need to know somewhere between 2,000 and 3,000. Now that's still a lot, but it's a world away from 50,000. Suddenly that climb doesn't seem quite so impossible, does it? That's a goal you can actually work towards.
And, you know, this system has some serious staying power. We are talking about a writing system that has been in continuous use for over 3,000 years. Think about that. It's this ancient code that is still being written and understood by over 1 billion people today. It's truly incredible.
So how in the world does it actually work? Well, to really get Hanzi, you have to do a fundamental shift in your thinking. You gotta flip a switch in your brain about what a written word even is.
The whole secret is this one word, logogram. See, unlike our alphabet, where letters are just building blocks for sounds, a logogram is a single character that represents a whole word or an idea all by itself. And this makes it crystal clear. In English, we piece together the sounds of R, I, V, E, R to create the word river. But in Chinese, this one single symbol, he, just is the idea of a river. There's no sounding it out. It's a direct visual link from the symbol straight to the concept in your brain.
Now, I know what you're thinking. Okay, great, but that still sounds like I have to memorize thousands of unique pictures. And this is the best part. You don't. Because these characters aren't just random pictures. They have a hidden logic, a secret DNA made of smaller, reusable pieces. So yeah, they're not just a bunch of random squiggles. They're built, almost like Lego, from these smaller parts called radicals. And these little building blocks are amazing because they give you massive clues about the character's meaning and sometimes even a hint about how to say it. Okay, let's actually take one apart. Here's our friend, the character for river, again. Now, look closely at the left side of it. See that little component there? That piece is the key. That is the radical. So what is a radical? Basically, it's a base component. Think of it like a category tag. It gives you a huge clue about the general area of meaning you're in. It tells you what the character is about. And that specific radical that we saw, the one on the left side of river, that little guy literally means water. So when you see that component in a character, you can make a super educated guess that the character has something to do with water. And this is where the magic happens. Look at this. Once you learn that one radical for water, you've suddenly unlocked a clue to tons of other characters. He is river, hu is lake, hai is sea. Do you see the pattern? They all have that water radical on the left. It turns memorization into a game of logic and association. It's brilliant. And that elegance, that deep underlying logic, is exactly why this ancient system has survived for thousands of years. It's just this incredibly clever visual way of organizing an entire language. All right, so let's boil it all down. What are the big things to remember? First, Hanzi is about ideas, not sounds. Second, that scary, huge number of characters, you don't need them all for daily life. And the real game changer, characters aren't random. They're logical puzzles built from radicals that give you clues. That great wall of words is actually made of smart, interlocking bricks. So I'll leave you with a little thought experiment to chew on. If our alphabet, if our letters represented whole ideas instead of just sounds, how do you think that would change the way we see and think about the world?